It's really normal for people to say that they have nothing to post about, nothing to post about. And I think what really happens is we just get so stuck thinking there's only one way that our social media can look, especially if you're looking at other people in your industry and trying to emulate them. Oh, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't try and be like anybody else. And monthly reminder that you have no idea if their content is actually working. I had a client come to me who had almost 1 million followers across platforms, and she wasn't actually really selling that much until after we worked together. There are loads of people out there who have millions of followers, I'm sure, who aren't actually selling anything. And there are millionaires who have a couple hundred or a couple thousand followers. All right. You don't know what's going on. Anyway. Sidebar. Actually, great transition. Our guest today is named Andrew Barr. I know this guy from a past life, but he recently blew up on social media. It's really fascinating to me how he was able to take the different things that he was interested in and craft this presence that is so fun to watch, also so inspiring. Like, who knew he'd be able to talk about addiction and cooking in the same video and they would just go viral? It's wild. So anyway, he isn't here yet, but I am here just to give you a content warning. We are going to be talking about addiction and recovery in this episode. There's probably gonna be some swears too. Andrew is a comedian. He is a recovering drug addict, and that is a big part of his presence. He's also about to do a really wild fundraiser for the rehabilitation center that he went to, which is why I wanted to have him on today. So with that, I give you Andrew Barr. Yay, beautiful. Imagine us back in our days where you worked in the kitchen and I was a bartender, and that's how we initially met. And now fast forward to here we are.
Yeah, it's crazy. You used to find me sleeping in there sometimes. I loved that kitchen. You could really get a nap in. There was not a lot of orders happening.
That's true. It was so slow and so hidden.
Yeah, truly one of the sweetest jobs I've ever had.
We did shots in there too a lot.
Yes, for
I mean,
sure.
I mean, we didn't. It was a joke. It wasn't a joke.
Of course. No, we would never do that.
Can you just tell everyone a little bit of context, who you are and what the hell has happened to you over the last, 3 years?
Yeah, I guess, 2 to 3 years I've been actively doing social media. So I'm Andrew Barr. I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been doing stand-up comedy for, oh Lord, 15 years now it's been. Started when I was 18. Yeah, obviously, since I've started, social media has become an increasingly important thing in our industry. I've been taking it more seriously for the last 2 to 3 years. And in that time, I've gone from, I think, 1,500 followers to 123,000 followers, or 124 now, on Instagram.
Yeah, and like millions and millions and millions of views come
Yeah,
up.
for sure. Yeah, I've had, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 videos hit 1 million. And yeah, I do probably 500,000 views a month or something like that. So reasonably steady.
One of the things that I love about your content is the way that you're able to combine topics and bring in the things that you're interested in. Because so many people think that their lives are so boring that they couldn't possibly talk about anything, like maybe other than their business, because the people listening, they're business owners. But you have hobbies and interests that you share with the world and are able to like combine multiple topics in a way that makes it really, really interesting to watch and captivating.
Yeah, I guess if I had any advice for anyone, working on their social media presence and stuff, I would say just throw things at the wall and see what kind of sticks. Sometimes you'll be surprised which videos it is that the algorithm latches onto and that do well. I've definitely had videos where like I was just like, oh, you haven't posted in a couple days. You've got to make something today. And I've like just scrambled and gotten something together. And then that video got me like 10,000 follows or whatever. So I think it's always better to just make it and get it out there. And, if it bombs, whatever. I think people have this thing in their head where if a post bombs, like they think that 1 million people saw it and hated it, when the reality is that just no one saw it. So it doesn't matter really.
Dude, you took the words out of my mouth. I say that like every day, but I think people will actually listen if you say it. If nobody sees it, nobody saw it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You can take it down if you want, or just it's not a big deal. Whatever. The algorithm didn't grab it, people didn't see it. It's okay. But yeah, I do post a lot of different stuff just because I'm not I'm not specifically knowledgeable about this stuff or really that good at it. So I just go volume and variety and throw out a lot of shit because yeah, I don't know, it's all kind of new for me. It was just sort of forced upon my industry. Like when I started stand up, it didn't matter if you were on social media or not. I remember learning what a hashtag was when I moved to Toronto in like 2010. I didn't know what that was. And now it's like so important for all of us to be doing it. But I play around. I do cooking stuff. I do fitness stuff. I do a lot of sobriety content and recovery stuff. That's probably my most successful.
There's so many people out there that have huge accounts that don't even know, like, don't know any of the buttons. They don't know what they do. They know how to record and add subtitles and post, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean that you can get pretty far with that, it seems. That's basically all I know how to do. It's funny, sometimes people will compliment me on my editing, which I think is hilarious because I have no idea how to edit. Other than like if you watch my videos, it's very simple. Like it's just like I'll say something and then it cuts and then it's me saying something again. And people have like complimented me on my style, but I'm like, it's really just born out of like if you watch it, it's very short. I almost like cut myself off when I'm talking. It's very short clips.
Yeah.
But I just started doing that because if I tried to talk for longer, someone would like honk their car horn or, like I'm recording stuff in this city. It's just noisy all the fucking time. And anytime I, try to do a long take, somebody ruins it. So I just started recording sentence by sentence because I was like, surely the universe will give me goddamn 3 seconds to get this one sentence out. And I'm always fighting to get it out with people power drills and random generators turning on and off from people's AC units, and it's a nightmare recording in the city. So that's the only reason that I do it like that. But people are like, "Oh, I really like that you do it like that."
Yeah, man, like the quick edits, the voiceovers, which often I wonder if the voiceovers are sometimes born out of the audio getting destroyed as well.
Yeah, right, yeah, sometimes.
Children's television, like you can't watch a cartoon without the scene changing like every 3 seconds or so. You can play a game where you watch like Pepe Le Pig. I don't know if I don't think that's
Yeah.
called children's cartoons. And
Yes.
try and count to six, and you can rarely get to six before it changes. And so that very short, quick clips that was born out of necessity for you is exactly what helps people hold focus.
Yeah, there is some intention there on my end as well, because I do think that when people are scrolling through social media, their attention span is shorter than if they were watching like a movie or a TV show. People just, they give things less time. So if you watch my videos, I talk fast and I edit it so that I'm basically the next clip is almost cutting me off. Like often I'll lose like part of my last word just because I don't want there to be any dead air at all, because I feel like that's when people scroll away. And it's funny because I do a lot of like addiction recovery stuff and sobriety stuff, and often people comment and they're like, I don't think this guy's sober. I think he's still on drugs
Talking
because I
so
talk so fast and my energy's a little manic. But I'm like, I'm truly just acting like that for the medium. I'm not like, I don't walk around the world talking like that to
yeah.
regular human beings. But
Well,
it seems to be effective for the medium.
oh, 100%. And I mean, listener, you don't need to talk that fast. I talk fast, Andrew talks fast. We're both silly. You don't need to be silly. Like it's not the law, but see what you can take from that in like the pacing of it, even just cutting yourself off a little bit and lacking dead air. That's definitely going to help with the views. I suppose you have, for over a decade, been sharing parts of yourself on stage and been exposed, on stage. Was it scary starting to talk about stuff that like addiction and recovery that's very real to millions of people?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe not as much as it is for most people. I always say that like, once you get sober, you try to think of ways that you can give back, because certainly it took a lot of help from other people to get me where I am. So you think about what you can do to give back to your community. And with addicts, there's a lot of people have a lot of shame, and it's what prevents people from getting help often, is that they're ashamed of themselves and they don't want to admit to people that they have a problem. So a special skill that I have is I am typically like unafraid to embarrass myself in front of large groups of people, because that's what doing stand-up comedy is for the most part, right? I've been embarrassing myself in front of rooms full of people for a long time. So it is easier for me to talk about than most people. And I decided to sort of use that skill to be helpful if I can. And I do get a lot of messages from recovering addicts and stuff saying that my videos have helped them along the way. But also, I do get a lot of people, telling me to relapse and wishing me death and stuff. And there is that part of the internet is it is, you are making yourself a little bit vulnerable. The internet is great, but it's also where all of the worst people hang out. So stuff like that does happen, and sometimes it's a little upsetting, but also good engagement. uh, most of my videos that have been the most successful are the ones where people do argue a little bit in the comments. And I don't like specifically encourage that, but sometimes someone will say something horrible and then some kind person will come to my defense and then they'll argue for like days in the comment section. And I'm just like soaking in the views from their helpful algorithm behavior. Just kind of
I wrote an article about that literally so long, probably like 7 or 8 years ago, an article about that, which was like about how to handle negative comments. And one of the tips I gave was if you can handle it emotionally, if it's really bad and you can't handle it emotionally, just delete it, just block them, who cares? But if you can handle it, often your supporters are going to come to defend you in the comments, or someone who otherwise wouldn't have said something positive will just have an independent positive comment because that's like their style. And then
yeah.
the host gets all these comments, the algorithm sees the post getting comments, shows it to a bazillion people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So do you think your ability to like handle embarrassing yourself and criticism, is that just an exposure therapy from being on stage?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. If I hadn't done comedy for so long, I don't think I would be as comfortable with it. But part of getting good at stand-up comedy is just that, like, sometimes people will ask me, like, "Have you ever bombed?" And I'm like, "Yes, what, thousands of times." What are you talking about? Thankfully, not very much anymore now that I've been doing it for a while and I'm a bit better at it. But when you're new, like, it's a really hard thing to do, and especially like starting at 18 years old, it's like I've bombed so many times and it does like callous you a little bit for sure.
Tell me more about that callus. Like people out here, they're listening, like people really want to know how to handle it. Even I want to know how to handle the negative comments and the like risk of showing up online and having somebody not like you. Like for normal people,
Yeah.
Andrew, it's way harder than it sounds like it is.
Okay. Well, then let's don't even worry about the fact that I do stand up. I think just something that's important to remember is that people who are leaving really negative comments on things on the internet are not doing well mentally. They are having a hard time, whether they know it or not, they're miserable as a person. Maybe not all the time, but that day at least. I've certainly left negative comments on things in my life on the internet. I'm not impervious to that kind of behavior. But anytime I do later on, I'm like, oh, what's going on with you? You shouldn't be doing that. You could have just, it's such a strange thing to instead of just scrolling by something or clicking the not interested in this button to leave some horrible spiteful thing. It's like this is just like an unwell person and you don't have to really let that affect you or worry about it too much because there literally will always be unwell people and the internet seems to do a really good job of wrangling them. So if anything, we could just be grateful that these people kind of have comment sections to exist in and that they're probably in public less.
Well, okay, what about on the flip side? What about the praise? Like, do you think that it's supported your recovery to have this many people cheering you on?
Yeah, I think for sure it's a little bit validating. It makes me feel good that I can contribute and give back in some way and engage with social media in a positive way. When I first started using social media and like trying to like post regularly, like I really didn't know what to do. I didn't start with the recovery stuff immediately. I just like was posting whatever. I had some friends who would do like reaction videos and stuff where they would like roast people and things like that. So I tried that a couple times and I felt kind of bad, like not to judge them, but I just felt a little gross. I'm at home by myself scrolling through the internet looking for a stranger to be mean to like benefit myself. It feels like not the most helpful contribution to the world. So I'm happy that with social media that I've, you know, found a way to engage with it that is on average, a more positive contribution.
Yeah. And I mean, if you can fully focus on the audience, right? Fully focus on making them laugh, on inspiring them, on making them feel less alone, then it does take a lot of personal pressure off of you. And a lot of people that I've worked with, when they start doing well in social, I ask them what changed, and their answer is often that they started not thinking about themselves anymore and just thinking about what people wanted to hear from them and what they wanted to interact with and the experience of the person watching the content. So almost like separating ourselves from it.
It's definitely good to think about the viewer. That was some good advice I got when I was starting to post on socials. Like, I have some friends that are, in the hundreds of thousands of followers. And one guy was simply just like, yeah, think about what stops you when you're scrolling. What would you stop and watch your own video? What makes you actually click follow on something? Think about the fact that it is another human being like you watching the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a very exciting week coming up, you psycho.
Yeah.
What have you committed to?
So I'm doing a comedy special this month. I'm recording a special at Comedy Bar Danforth location in Toronto. Bit of a unique experience. It's going to be now that I've been sober for like coming up on 3 years. I've wanted to do something to give back a little bit to the rehab center that I went to, and I'm really good at running. That's a skill that I have. So we're doing a big charity run. I'm going to run on a treadmill on a live stream for 12 hours. The treadmill is going to be on the stage at the comedy club. And then as soon as the 12 hours is up, we're going to fill up the room with audience. And then I'm going to immediately record the comedy special right after running for 12 hours.
Why?
The whole day, well, first of all, the fundraise for the charity,
Right.
but also the whole day is basically a metaphor for addiction, right? The treadmill is addiction. You're stuck in one place, you can't move forward, you're doing the same thing over and over again, but you're not getting anywhere. Maybe at first it seems like a little bit of fun, but it's only getting harder and harder on your body. The more you do it slowly, this thing is breaking you down and breaking you down. And eventually you have to admit, I can't beat this thing. I just have to get off the machine. I have to stop. And the audience arriving is like intervention. That's people showing up who care about me and are there to support me, but not this weird thing that I'm doing. And then me hitting stop on the treadmill and walking towards the audience is like a return to community. So that's kind of the little story that I'm trying to tell with it. When I tell people about the day, they do think that I'm kind of like a bit of a masochist, probably. But the day it's not like there's going to be a lot of pain. I'm going to really hurt my body. But the day isn't like about the pain. It's about what people are still capable of once they've put their pain behind them.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's so nice. It's gonna smell in there.
Yeah, maybe a bit. There's a lot of logistical stuff that can go wrong. That's part of the fun of it too, is just no one in the history of the world has ever done this. People have run that long on a treadmill before, but no one has ever done that and then recorded a comedy special right after. Nobody who's coming knows what it's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to look like. A million things could go wrong.
Are people gonna wander in like throughout the day while you're
So
running?
for the live stream while I'm on the treadmill, I'm putting a couch next to the treadmill and two comedians per hour are going to come in and just kind of shoot the shit, basically podcast all day. I'm going to like not talk to them. I'll have headphones in and I'll be listening to tunes because I need to super focus on the running. It's really hard to run for that length of time. But yeah, I will have comedy buddies coming in, engaging with the stream, shooting the shit, cracking jokes and stuff so that it's, not just me running, which would be terribly boring to watch.
That's so smart. I can run for like 3 minutes. And
That's
I'm trying, I'm learning.
That's how it starts. 3 minute. When I started, I would run for like 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. And then, you gradually a little longer. And then before you know it, you run 100 kilometers. That's the goal distance is 100 kilometers.
Well, that's inspiring. Yeah, I'm doing interval training too. I got the app Couch to 5K. And
Oh,
then
great.
and so I do the intervals like 1 minute on, 1 minute off. But the max I can probably do is about 3 minutes straight for now. But
For
soon I'll
now.
be up there in a treadmill right next to you.
Absolutely. I was surprised when I started running, like if you're consistent with it, how quickly you can make progress. So yeah, don't worry. You'll be doing that 5K in no time.
Well, that is just another way that I'm genuinely so inspired by you, Andrew. I've loved watching you grow on social media. I've loved the Friday series. I was looking forward to those Friday videos. I was looking forward to you asking the audience how our week was, and then me literally never responding, but always appreciating being asked. So
Mhm.
there's so many things that I've been learning from watching you, and it's been so generous of you to even share your journey and care so much about the audience and helping bring that positivity out in the world. It definitely shows. So everyone go follow Andrew. What's your handle?
At Andrew Barr Comedy.
With two R's.
2 R's in bar. Andrew Barr Comedy.
Very Canadian sounding.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share?
Just that it's nice to see you, you beautiful person.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.